Alrighty. Well, today I'm working on the Jeep. And see by the title, you'll know what I'll be doing. This is something I've contemplated on and off ever since I read it in a forum around the time I first got the Jeep. And I haven't had problems with the coil pack, really. I've had one problem with it, and that was just it going bad. The coil pack uses, well, 3 coils. There's a coil here, there's a coil here, and there's a coil here. And then there's thin copper strips that go from the actual coil to the where the spark plugs go. And I've seen this happen twice that I know of, and it probably happens more. But cylinder 6 will go out intermittently. The copper strand or thin copper strip between the coil pack and cylinder 6 gets a fracture, breaks, something, and it causes either a permanent or an intermittent issue. This was actually an intermittent issue when it happened, and I started having problems with it with the OEM coil. So I had to buy a replacement. You know, I just wanted to kind of get it out of the way and have a more traditional setup. So I got this. I actually did their pre-order or early adopter thing. So I got this actually on sale for being one of the first 25 people to order it. K suspensions. This is actually 3D printed, which is actually my first 3D printed item that I've bought. It's not the first 3D item I've held, or seen, but it's the first one that I've actually bought and had my hands on. It's a bracket for a Viper coil pack, a Dodge Viper. The Dodge Viper, I forget which years it is, the 2000s, between 2000 and 2010, they had 2 coil packs. One was a 6-plug coil pack, and one was a 4-plug coil pack, and that's how they ran the Viper. This one is going to use, obviously, the 6-plug coil pack, and it was in the Viper, it was in the 3.3 Grand Caravan, and even the JKs with the 6-cylinder. People usually call it the Viper coil pack, though, because, hey, it's from a Viper, woo! But yeah, it's just a standard coil pack. But this is the 3D printed item. It has nutserts in it that are pressed in there. Don't know, that's obviously after it's been printed. Got some stickers with it. Here is the extension harness, which has the male and the female end of the plug. Got some copper anti-seize, got some dielectric grease. This is the coil. And this is the coil pack. And it is already numbered, but that is for the Viper. So I went ahead and renumbered it. With the plug facing out, that goes to cylinder 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, and 6. They already have a video. K Suspension has a YouTube channel, and they already have a video on installing this. So if you want more detail, I'll link that in the bottom. I just decided to go ahead and do a video anyway, mainly for documentation. And then I'm going to go ahead and I've changed the spark plugs not that long ago. When I did the coil pack, I changed the spark plugs. But I want to go ahead and get the NGK plugs because I have the OEM Champion plugs in there now. But after like 2002 or 2003, Mopar Chrysler went away from the Champion and started recommending NGK, and from what I can read, it's because the NGKs hold up better to the higher spark that the coil pack produces. So I went ahead and got the NGKs instead. And then the wires, the best bet, and what I might do eventually, custom wire sets, but those are like $100. These were like $20. These are for the 3.3 Grand Caravan. They're long, but they do work. So that's what I'm going to use. So yeah, and this bracket is actually going to mount on the side of your reservoir. You take this bolt out and this bolt out right here, and it actually slides over. So I'm going to have to relocate my fuse for my switch panel. First thing to do is the case suspension should go towards the front, if I remember right. So have the plug facing towards the firewall. So the plug should be facing away from the case suspension. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, I got it on. That's how it's going to be. Again, a case suspension should go towards the front, so the plug goes towards the back. So now I have to take off that bolt, and then there's another bolt on the other side, and then I got to cut this off. I think I might mount this on top. So yeah, we're going to get that out of the way. Alrighty, after a bit of fiddling, I finally got it in. I know the 2000 year model had 2 different AC systems in it. I had to tweak this AC line right here back out of the way because it was not fitting in, and this rubber hose was rubbing against the coil. So this is an early model 2000. This was made in '99, so that might be the reason why this doesn't fit. Well, it fits, but I had to do some tweaking to the AC lines. I think the later models, the AC lines are designed differently. Maybe. I need to go and look, but yeah, I did have to tweak this AC line out and tweak that AC line in to get enough room, first of all, to slide it down in there, and second of all, to get it to bolt and not rub. So yeah, there's that. Also, with that on there, I can finally take my circuit breaker for my multifunction switch, for my switch box, and I can actually put this on top. So that's actually good. Still not going to be able to use the mounting holes unless I do something creative and put some brackets on this. Now I got to remove the coil pack. If you've never removed your coil pack before, the plug in the back is going to be fun. But because I've had this off before, it should be pretty easy. I think these are 13s, maybe 14s, 15s. No, definitely not 15, probably 13. Should be 2 bolts, one there, and then just, or no, one there, 4 bolts. 2 there, 2 there. And then it's just to play the game on getting it, first of all, out enough so you can drop it down and bring it up. It's a bit finicky because you got your cables in the way, and then your heater line in the way. So yeah, just be patient. It'll come out. There's the coil pack out. It's actually not very old. I put it in. It's been probably 3-4 years, but it doesn't have that many miles on it. It's been about 3 or 4 years, but I got other forms of transportation, and plus I went through death wobble phase and some other stuff with this, so I wasn't driving it for quite a while. But so this only has probably 10-15,000 on it, if even that. So yeah, I'll just put this aside in my never-ending stockpile of old Jeep parts. And the plug, it's a standard locking plug. It just looks like this. Except yeah, it is like this. The lock goes the other way though. The lock isn't this way, it's actually this way. So you pull it, push it towards the engine. If you can get your screwdriver, fingernail, something under that, and pry it out, except you're going to pry it this way towards the engine, and then you can depress the tab and pull it off. Like I said, if you've never done it before, it's going to be pretty difficult. Even mine, which I did, like I said, a couple years ago, I still had to pull on it pretty hard because there was actually some mud and stuff in here. Now, if you were just doing that, you could put the spark plug wires on, but I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and change the spark plugs to the NGKs, just because. So, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, if you're lucky enough to still have your emissions sticker up here on the firewall, it will actually tell you down here at the bottom the spark plug, which is the champion part number, which is what I've taken out and put the NGK in, but it also tells you the spark plug gap, which is 0.035. So that's useful information, and a lot of older vehicles used to have that. New vehicles don't, because they don't want you working on your stuff. But anyway, like I said, these aren't that old. They all probably only have about 15K on them. But yeah, make sure you gap all your spark plugs. Like I just said, I just have an old gapper right here. And I'm going to keep these. I'll probably put them in my trail Jeep, because it probably needs them. But yeah, this is a gasket type spark plug. So run it all the way down until this gasket seats or touches, and then half a turn. That's all you need. That's torque to spec. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, put anti-seize on the threads, and then when I put the spark plug wires on, I will use dielectric grease. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get all the spark plugs in. Alright, all the new spark plugs are in, so now you can connect the wiring, which they give you plenty of it to route neatly. Probably just going to connect it, go under the AC line, come through here, and then just have some over here where I have some extra wiring. Alright, you might see the coil is sideways. Check fitment of your parts before you put it together. I found out this this coil pack, the pins are were not exactly in the right spot. They were actually bent up towards the center, and they're supposed to be bent down towards the bottom to mate with the connector. I believe that's a manufacturing on this part, not this plug being wrong. I'm not going to take it back apart and show you because it's kind of straightened itself out. I had to bend all the pins down just very slightly to get it to slide in. But yeah, now I'll get it tightened it back down. Yay! Top two bolts are going to be fun. Or going to be good. That side bolt's going to be fun. Alright, got the plug on. The red lock tab is facing up. Got it bolted back down. Wasn't that bad. It's just getting it off, trying to figure out how to get around these AC lines, especially when one is right in front of that bottom bolt. Anyway, the wires just ran down, and then it goes over to the connector over there, right there. So, yeah, now it's time to do the spark plug wires. And again, the one on the bottom is 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6 at the bottom. And easy. Cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It goes right in order. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be back. These are the wires that I used. And it even came with some dielectric grease, so that's nice. Of course, the dielectric grease only lasted on 2 wires, so I had some extra laying around. What I ended up doing is, let's see, cylinder 4, I used the shortest one, and then cylinder 1, I used the next longest. Cylinder 2, I used the next longest. Cylinder 3, I used the next longest. I was going to use the shortest on this one, but it was doing something weird. It was rubbing against this really bad, so I went ahead and put the shortest one here because that's a direct route around here, and then did the next longest from that one and did over there. And then cylinder 6, I did the longest one, and then cylinder 5, I did the one up. So if lengths of wires from shortest to longest, I did cylinder 4 the shortest, and the next one up I did cylinder 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 5, and then 6. So that's from shortest to longest. And that's it. It's all dielectric greased, all done, all plugged in. Fingers crossed it will actually start. There should be no issue with that. I'm going to put it at the beginning of the video, but this isn't a performance mod. You don't get any more spark out of this than you do that. I mean, you might get a little bit more, but it's not a performance gain. It's just to get rid of the coil rail, which a lot of people apparently don't like and have a bunch of problems with. Like I said, I've only ever had one problem with it, and that's just because it went bad. But there's a bunch of people that hate them, which is why the Viper Coil Pack, JK, and Grand Caravan Coil Pack is sought after and is a pretty decent mod, because a lot of people don't like that. They don't know how to diagnose that. So this gives you an easier diagnosis point because it's like a normal coil pack. You can actually check and see if there's spark, where on that one you can check to see if there's spark, but you have to do it out. You know, it's tedious, and a lot of people don't like to put the time in to try to diagnose that. But I did it because, I mean, hey, I can do it, and it does give me replacement spark plug wires, and moves the coil away a little bit from the motor. Those coils are right on the motor, and these motors get hot, so that's one thing, get a little bit of heat dissipation. But anyway, should be able to start it now. Like I said, there should be no change, but yeah, starts and runs. And yeah, if you really wanted to go performance with this, which really the only reason you would go performance is if you either A, have a stroker, or B, turbo the thing, which is pretty popular right now. And I honestly wouldn't mind turboing, but yeah, that's a lot of money. And it's Jeep, but apparently they make decent power. But yeah, but if you want performance, you're going to need a standalone or a piggyback ECU and just run LS coils. That's honestly the easiest thing to do if you want performance. But yeah, this is just a replacement of that because a lot of people don't like that. I really haven't had a problem, except I had one go out. One upside, those are about $100. No matter what way you slice it, you're going to pay around $100 for one of those. You can get these for $20, 20 to 40 bucks. So it's easier to keep a spare of one of these. Let's say you're going on a trail. It's easier to carry one of these as a spare. You know, it's 20, 40 bucks, somewhere around there. Then carry one of those, which is $100+. I paid like $109, I think, for that. So yeah, those are expensive. So the plus side of all this is cheap compared to that. So yeah, I'm gonna round the video off here, and that's it for now. I still have to edit the video on putting that switch box in that I haven't done yet, but I got one more thing I need to add before I can do that. I need to add the dimmer button, which I haven't done yet, which is one reason why I haven't edited that video. But another thing I might do is actually get cut-to-fit spark plugs, wires. These wires, they are long, but they're not too terribly bad. The ones that are really bad is this cylinder 6. I got a bunch of slack. Cylinder 5 isn't too bad. It's still pretty long. But yeah, the best thing to do if you want to spend an extra $100-something bucks and get cut to fit or make your own, that would be the best way. then you could actually do some wire management. You can still do some wire management, but it's, yeah. You'd be chasing your tail on those back two. But anyway, that's it for now. I will talk to y'all later. I just got to mount this right here, and I'll be done. But I'll talk to y'all later.